One.
Good morning, traders and investors. We're in a trading range here, about a 10-day trading range in the bottom of the range. Are the Bulls going to defend it again, just like the Bears defended 4,600? We got some earnings, not a lot of good ones. I guess people aren't ordering pet food online or using AI. AMD's got a new chip. We got Mark Chaikin at 8:15 a.m. to get his reading on the market. Got Mitch in the Motor City. It's pre-market prep.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your hosts, Joel Elkanin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I'd buy that stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Traders and investors, we're bottoming just where we did in the last 10 sessions at the 45.50 area, now up four handles at 45.60. Let's see if that trading range continues. The buck is pulling back 16 cents at 103.94, little double top on the monthly there. On the dailies, we'll switch those charts up in a second. Crude on the rebound after seeing that 60 handle for the first time in months. We're up 83 cents to 70.21. Gold just in the 2,000 handle, up 240 at 20.50.20. Silver up a few pennies at 24.24. And you have Bitcoin in the red by $300 at 43,915. So when Mid says on the intro live from downtown Detroit, well, at least the last 2 days he's live for downtown
Live from downtown Detroit.
How is it, Mitch? How do you like the Motor City?
Oh, it's always fun being here. One of the things is it's a big office, right? You really get that feeling. And downtown being right here in front of the big Christmas tree. I mean, how could you not have that, nice holiday feeling? It's a good time. They got the skating rink out front. I mean, there's a lot to do here in Detroit.
I wonder why Dennis wouldn't move here with the skating rink up front. He could,
right? I thought he'd have a little hockey team out there or something.
I talked to Money Mitch about moving to Detroit. If you think Mitch should move to Detroit, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he should stay downtown, put a 2 in the chat.
And then here's another one, right? What do you guys think about dressing up like this? Should we be just looking all handsome, What do you guys think? Do you guys think we need a little sports coat action?
For you, yeah, it looks good.
Joel said, I'm ready to put a jersey on, man. And no ties. It's not needed, right? I mean, I'll be choking myself all day long here. We work a lot of hours. So
ties, man. Holy mackerel. It's been a few years since I wore a tie. Back at the oldie trading desk, and it was like you put it on and you immediately undo the top button and pull it down. That's the way the traders did it. But we got some trading action to get to.
Let's get to it. Of course, yesterday, a struggle. I mean, man, I missed the rally on Tuesday. I was kind of flying over here, and I was kind of excited. I was like, let's go. Let's get after it. I want to see if NVIDIA can start running here. And, I got smacked yesterday, and that happens. But we got the quick pullback action, and it was a broad kind of pullback, right? The only thing I saw up from the open was technology overall, but everything else was red for the day. So that just went to show us that, we had a really decent pullback. The biggest pullback being in energy, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We continue to see that declining pretty fast here. I mean, especially Oxy, Warren, you better come out and start saving this because it's about to blow through your zone.
It is. It's in the Warren zone here. Just to talk about the market, just in general, SPY. Let's see if it's as clear on that chart. No, it's not as clear for some reason because of the 24-hour mark. Yeah, I guess so. But if you look at the S&P, I put this line in here yesterday. After a big move, right? There's always a period of consolidation, and you build the area. Well, we know where the support is, right? This 45.50 area. It just over the last 2 weeks, tonight or last night, we got the 48.75. The bulls are making their stand there. Now, yesterday we rallied off bad data, right? We like bad data
Yeah.
now. And we got up to that 4,600 area. Now, the high of the move, we have two highs. One was a Globex high, and one was or they were both for Globex high, but one in the regular session never saw it. Main thing, the closing high print for the move Friday 4600.75. That's the number. You got close to that yesterday, a little too much too fast. So you got a trading range set up. You have to respect the bottom of the trading range. And I tell you, the bulls get this thing over 4600. They get a strong bid, then it's just another leg higher. And I don't even want to do a measurement off the move that you had in November, but we're in a holding stage here, and right now you have to respect the trading ranges.
I mean, if we take a look at the TLT and where that's gone, I mean, I'll put it to the high of yesterday, but that's a 16.5% run for the TLT. I mean, that
But
is
but you look at it, Mitch. It's like it's nothing. I mean,
yeah. If you
it's
scope out, yeah, it doesn't look like nothing.
yeah,
Um,
yep. And you know me, I like
you
to
know
look
what?
at
It's very similar. It's very similar to the run that we got in 22. That went to December, right? If you take a look at that, that was about a 15.7% run. And I'm talking between the time of, let's say, November 8th of 22 to about the 15th of December. And then what happened after that, guys? Well, we started running into some resistance and then kind of started going sideways, then ran into kind of 23 where we went back down, right? Back below those lows. I'm starting to think that maybe at least we're just gone too much too fast. Um, and it's time to at least give that nice sideways period here. I don't think it's going to just come crashing back down, but it makes sense for it to slow down.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of we got some weak data so far this week, and that's indicating everyone's looking for the cuts in March, and I heard someone say 5 cuts next year. I just think we just need to slow down with the cuts, slow down. Let the TLT run its course, do a retracement. Keep rates steady, get banks steady, maybe bring it down to get the mortgages, get things going, but. Man, right now you look at that. Look at the Toll Brothers yesterday. You look what's going on. I just don't see the whole rate cut, early on in 2023 coming. Now, a lot of things can happen. We'll see what we got with the jobs number coming out tomorrow, and then next week we got inflation data. We're all just time stamping that inflation's beat, the economy's slowing, we're going into recession, we got to turn rates. And I don't know. I mean, when there's too much conventional wisdom taking the thing, there just seems to have to be some kind of bumps in around.
Well, you don't like that conversation. Did you like the conversation that came out of Jamie Dimon yesterday? I mean, this guy that likes to be in the headlines, and that's one thing's for certain. He went and stated that I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, and etc. That if I was the government, I'd close it down. Comments like this, I mean, that's definitely going to shake up things in the crypto space. And the truth is, I just want regulation, right? I mean, he wanted to refer to it as kind of, drug lords and money laundering that happens in cryptocurrency. And that's why he'd shut it down. But I mean, I think this is also, we all know what it is. They want they want regulation, they want the money. And that's what it's all about here. But let's take a look at the crypto action. What have you been seeing, at least here, to
I'm
show
just
you
gonna
that?
go Bitcoin. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go.
that's
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
What are we
just
seeing on the price action from Bitcoin to see that maybe this rally could hold up here?
Uh, I mean, it's been a monster rally, a couple different legs. What the Bulls want to see is a similar pattern after you had the big ramp up to 39K. You had a week and a half where you had a trading range, a pretty big trading range, a consolidation, and then you broke out again. So here, after another ramp up, let's see if you get the couple days of consolidation and see if you could, break out of the top. But you've seen it a couple different times. Consolidation, break higher. This was a little bit of a shorter consolidation period. Boom, another move up. The monthlies don't give you a month. The monthlies, and I'm looking at the futures, folks. I like to look at the futures, and the futures, the next monthly target is 50K. And what also I'm looking at here, no one's liquidating. I'm looking at the open interest here to keep an eye on, and the open interest. Boom, 18K. It hit on the first, and it's come off a little bit. It's come off 1,000, so there is some profit taking. But you see the big down day. If there's a big down day and a big drop in orchard open interest, that could be some longs getting the hell out of the way.
Let's run through our top two stories of the day. Of course, AbbVie to acquire Cerevel Therapeutics for a transaction valued at $45 per share for a total equity value of approximately $8.7 billion. And then, of course, I saw multiple kind of analysts coming out, Cantor Fitzgerald and Piper Sandler, both downgrading Cerevel Therapeutics from hold to neutral. Both putting the price target at the same amount to 45. That's CERE for Cerevel Therapeutics. And then AbbVie, of course, big company here, therapeutic stock. What do you think, Joel?
Kind of quiet here. The street. I mean, this is not. I mean, they did pay a decent premium for it. The stock, obviously, maybe some regulatory concerns. Still $3 away. Um, No one's really fired a shot yet here in AbbVie. Now, AbbVie's a big stock, big market cap. They got a lot of cash, so I'd still be careful. I mean, because sometimes the larger players are like, okay, they're making this acquisition, they're spending money. I don't like it. I'm hitting the exit button. But right now in the pre-market trading, kind of quiet, down 55 cents. What I would do for this one, just because there's always a chance they still may go out and whoop the acquirer. Yesterday's low came in at 144.73, and it's a little bit wide open after that. So if as long as it holds yesterday's low, it's taking back half of its decline from its October high. Then I'd say the street doesn't care too much. But take out yesterday's low, and I think you got some room on the downside.
Dollar General with a nice little push here. Q3 EPS at $1.26 beats the $1.19 estimate here. Sales of 9.69 billion beat the 9.65 billion estimate. They do see same store sales decreasing in Q3 1.3%, and still see a same store sales growth moving it for fiscal year to actually decline to approximately 1% or to flat. They reaffirmed fiscal year net sales growth of 1.5 to 2.5%. So it wasn't the best report, but at least getting some decent action. You guys can definitely see that rounding bottom look on the daily chart. Now the only question is, can it get into that gap and maybe close it?
Very close. This one, and I remember we were looking at it. We were looking at it and talking about bottom fishing at 100, and then go if you got your pro handy. This
Yeah.
guy nailed it on October 12th or 13th was where the price action was, and this guy came out and he gave it a stamp of approval. And I remember being asked about it, and I'm like, well, it's a big move. Maybe it'll come down and fill the gap. No can do, man. It just kept rolling north. So that analyst made a good call. I would follow him closely. The only thing I'm going to give on this one, I really can't give you support. I'll just tell you, in that gap down day, that horrible day in August, you had a high at 139.12. You've traded through that in the pre-market. You filled the gap. Now you got a huge gap to fill, all the way up to 154.38. But use that 140 as a swing. If it starts to, get a nice bid at 140, and know there's nothing in there. But if it gets above 140 and then, comes back down through it, you really don't have any clear support until 135.52. That marks the top of the range from yesterday in DG. Let's look at Dollar Tree, its sister. Dollar Tree, similar kind of move, trying to get back into its gap area. Also,
Hell,
when we look at this, we look at Five Below. Five Below is kind of, man, that looks a hell of a lot better than the other ones.
yeah, it does. It's been able to hold up. Of course, we were looking at kind of Dollar Tree. That's already starting to decline a little bit. Walmart keeps declining. The only ones they're kind of holding up to, also in the kind of the space, Target is holding up, Costco, but I don't know. It's a little bit of a mixed noise right now with these moves. Ollie, off of their report yesterday, kind of went right back down, closed near the lows. So that needs to start coming back, and we're going to see some of these discount stores actually start making a nice little run. All right, let's go to our guest today. Of course, none other than the legendary. Let's get to it. Mark, Chaikin time. You guys out there, smash the like.
Good morning.
Good morning. How we doing, Mark? It's good to have you, of course, founder of Chaikin Analytics, ready to talk a little bit about the markets. It seems like we're in a little bit of a lull time. Of course, we got ourselves a nice little Q4 rally already. Did we just get too much too fast, and this is all we're going to get? Or do you think Santa Claus is right around the corner?
Yeah, you're missing the game here. We did hit my year-end target of 4,600. When you get a big move like you had, 1.5 to 3 days down in the major averages, 1.5 to 3%, that's normal.
Yeah.
So I think we've worked off the overbought on a short-term basis with a little weakness today for sure. I've seen people, smart traders and investors, stepping in and buying weakness in the tech stocks here. But I think we're going to rally into year end, and you just got to get on board. You asked about support. I think it's a little lower. You're pretty tight there. I mean, you could break that trading range and flush out a couple, wavering bulls. But 45.30, there's a strong resistance, which is pretty much the level that you were looking at. But I think there's absolutely lock support at 4,400. Hopefully we don't get down there, but it would take some.
How can we get down to 4,400, Mark?
We're not. I
don't think so either. No.
Yeah, the interest rates would have to tick back up. Bond market would have to crap out. That's not happening.
Are you worried that that rates are coming down too fast here? I mean, you've had some big moves in the bonds and TLT. I mean, just like the market forced Powell into raising rates on the upside. Are they going to do the thing and in reverse here? Because I really don't. I mean, I've heard of 5 cuts in 2024. No. I've heard 1 cut. I mean, why can't interest rates stay steady? Is that bad for the economy if interest rates are just stable?
No, stable is good, and I don't think they're going to force the Fed to do anything here. This is just the bond market telling you that there's no recession. And the bond market knows more than the stock market typically. So I think what you have is a wonderful interest rate environment. The banks are amazing here, financials. They have been for 2 months. We've been recommending the more conservative banks. And
which ones? What are the more conservative? JP Morgan?
No, I don't want to go there. PNC, I love. BK, and then Truist, TFC, which is down in Florida. It used to be, I forget what it was, but it was, I don't know. They have a good investment banking department, very good small stock research. It's a merger, I think, of some North Carolina bank and Truist, and the bank down in Florida. But all of these look great to me. I'd stay away from BAC and JP Morgan. I think there's more juice in the other names and less exposure on the, on the international front, on the trading desk. None of these companies have big trading desk exposure or bond market exposure. So that's a package that I love. Bank of New York, PNC, and Truist. But I love the conversation about the retail space. Dollar General still has a bearish rating in the Power Gauge, and it's been underperforming for so long. I just wouldn't touch that. AbbVie has just reacquired a bullish rating, so I'm more inclined there. But healthcare is really tough, and it's a tough place to be right now. The stock that I really like in healthcare is CVS. I think that
CVS. What do you like about CVS?
Well, the Power Gauge likes it for one, and it's starting to outperform the market. It's breaking out of that double top range. So, you've got to. I think people don't realize that they own a health insurance company, and they're starting to leverage the benefits of that relationship within store visits, and that go beyond vaccinations. I just think it's a powerhouse. And but here's where the real excitement is outside of tech. I mean, tech is just, you can't even touch it until it pulls back. A package of 3 retail stocks to buy.
Okay.
Ready?
It'll be with them.
Etsy. Shopify.
Shop, of course.
And Block.
Now that's an interesting one.
Block are emerging from a base, and you just need a pullback to a rising 21-day average if you get one. But with Block and Etsy, I think you can almost reach for them, which I don't like to buy strength, not at the upper bands. But Shopify, you got to wait for it to pull back to a 21-day average to have a comfortable entry point. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to go much below that. But everywhere I went and doing my holiday shopping, the shopping cart was Shopify. And they're doing nice deals with analytics companies and tie-ins. And same thing is true with Square. You go to a farmer's market up here in Connecticut, or Block, symbol SQ. Go to a farmer's market, you go to a restaurant now, you see even a taxi in Baltimore, you're handed that little cube.
Mark, do you know a little bit about Toast? I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but kind of similar payment processing stock. I know Kathy just jumped into that one too.
Let's take a look at what's the symbol?
TOST.
Power Gauge is neutral minus, which means it's been in a downtrend, but the underlying factors are bullish. I'd rather buy Block. Block has been through the ringer, and it's now in an uptrend, and it's starting to see the relative strength outperform. You're bottom fishing in Toast, and you know me in bottom fishing. It doesn't get along well. It's like when I eat too much cheese.
Another space that I've been seeing that has been really hot is the industrials. I mean, XLI has been just ripping to the upside, whether that's GE, Boeing, but anything that you like in the industrial space here moving forward.
I haven't focused on it, so I'm going to go into the Power Gauge on our platform. I see a name in there that GE has had a bullish rating for a while, and Grainger, but I think they're played out. I see a name that may work, which is United Rentals, URI. If we're going into a strong economy, URI is a really interesting name.
And like you just mentioned, and Joel, you're on mute just to mention, but I think that you're seeing it as kind of the opposite of what a lot of is out there on the streets right now, expecting for the recession, the consumer slowdown, and you're seeing a strong economy going into next year.
the, the numbers out of the federal government tell you it's a strong economy. 5.9% in the third quarter, and now they're estimating positive GDP growth in the fourth quarter, and that was not the case a month ago. I don't know how strong the economy is, but I can tell you that consumers are buying high-ticket items, and that tells me that this is a market that has legs. Now, what happens in January, February, I don't know. But through year end into early January, I think the major story here is the RSP. If you compare it, that's the equal weighted S&P. Yeah. And everybody was ragging. How many bears did you have on who said, well, it's only 7 stocks carrying the market? This was at 4,100, right? And 4,200 on the S&P. Look at that nice chart pattern on the daily and compare that to the S&P, where we've had this congestion area that Joel pointed out on the SPY for the last really 7 days. Look at the difference between that and the RSP, and that tells you that market breadth is improving. Stocks are being bought that are outside the Magnificent Seven, and that's really healthy for the market. Very healthy.
A little bit more. Yeah, the IWM picked it up one day, gave it back the next 2 days, but that's trying to form some support. We're on the line with Mark Chaikin. He's the founder of Chaikin Analytics, joins our show every couple of weeks to talk fundamentals and technicals. Mark, things are slick in the oil patch here. I know it's good. It's good for the airline stocks. And Mitch made a great call yesterday talking about the airlines getting the big boost. The cruise lines, people are out there spending money, traveling, moving around. But let's talk about what OPEC did, what the reaction is, and where you at on crude oil. I'm a perma bear, but that's just me.
I don't quite know what crude oil is doing, but I look at stocks like Valero, which I have liked for a long time, and it's going nowhere. And so that tells me that you're probably on the right side of that bet. I don't see a lot to like right now in the energy complex. It's seasonally a bad time for natural gas. So some of my favorites there, like EOG and EQT, are lagging after some pretty good moves. So I'm going to let the market tell me what to think about oil, and the market's saying, not going anywhere. And especially if we're talking about China weak, which is clear in terms of economic power, and an economy that may be slowing, I don't see oil spiking up very much.
What about the geopolitical situation, Mark? I mean, we kind of put a war in Ukraine behind us, and the market continued on its merry way. Now have a little bit different of a global crisis going on here. Is just going to be the market just to do what it does and just kind of puts on the blinkers, or see other implications?
Well, unless it broadened out to encompass Iran and their network of terrorists. Remember, the market does like war. For whatever reason, it likes decisiveness and decisive action. I don't see the geopolitical as being an issue right here at all. Again, and even if Iran, even if there's a missile fired at some ship, that'd be a buying opportunity, like in a heartbeat.
All right, team. I'm going to bring in here initial jobless claims, 220,000 versus 222,000 was the estimate. So just slightly off there, still showing underneath there on the initial jobless claims. It's been a little bit of a back and forth to whether good news is bad news or bad news is good news. But are we getting any type of reaction off this number, Joel?
Nah, Spoos are just hanging up near the near the highs of the session. We got we get the jobs number tomorrow. Of course, that will that's the most important. But from the data that we're seeing, the job market is loosening up a little bit, and that's exactly what the Fed wants. It's just, Mark, my question to you is like, how long is bad news going to be good news?
I'm not sure this is really bad news. I think this is more of a Goldilocks market, not too hot, not too cold, just right. What I'm seeing though, looking at the intraday futures, I put up tick charts. 4,500 ticks is what I trade if I ever trade the E-mini. And there's almost no volume in here, nothing, which tells me something. It tells me the algorithms are not active, which is great, because I'm not seeing, we haven't even formed a new bar since that news came out, which basically says that there's not a lot of participation in the E-minis. And that's a good thing, because you know how the algos can screw up your life and your game plan.
What are you absolutely avoiding? What absolutely is on the do not touch list?
Consumer staples, utilities.
Even with the rally in the bond market, you're staying off the utilities?
Yeah. I mean, it's like having breakfast with your grandmother. It's not very sexy.
I thought it was it's like kissing your sister. It's nice,
Well,
but it
yeah,
doesn't mean nothing.
it's
Yeah,
something.
breakfast
Yeah.
with grandma. I don't think me or you have had breakfast with our grandmothers
Oh,
in
I
a
wish.
while.
Don't you wish, Joe?
All right, Mark. We're gonna do. I know we changed your schedule up a little bit. We're gonna get you up one more time
Yep.
before the end of the year. We'll have a quad witch in there, so we'll get you ready
Ooh,
for. Yeah, we got the quad. Yeah, what's this? This will be our second Friday, so the quad witch will be next week.
that's for, yep.
But as always, it's great. Do you know where Dennis is at?
I do not.
He's at Disney
Mm,
World.
Oh my God.
a house of mouth.
He's spending some of those trading profits.
He
That's
is
great.
getting out of the house, and he sent me pictures.
Getting out of the building.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't have such a good time that he comes back and recommends Disney, because
He, I,
even with
you know
corporate
what?
raiders there.
You know who I think's
I'll,
having
I'll
the
make
best.
sure of that one, Mark.
You know who I think's having the best time on his vacation? His wife. She didn't go. She let Dennis take the kids, and
Oh wow.
she's got peace and
Man, she's
quiet,
living it
Laura.
up. She's
Yeah,
living it up.
Honey, he took the kids. That's just
exactly.
great. And by the way,
Okay, Mark.
Mitch, I like the new look.
I appreciate it, Mark. Have a great one. It's always
Yeah.
great talking to you. Of course, the
Enjoy,
legend that
guys.
is
Right
Mark
before
Chaikin.
Christmas.
Guys, check out Chaikin Analytics. Of course, I'm sure they have some great holiday specials. So definitely check it out if you guys haven't done so before. Of course, we all know Mark. I mean, he's literally created indicators that I use. So it's always great having him on. Let's get back to the market. How we looking here, Joel?
Holding steady. Holding steady, Eddie. 45.60, man. We've seen this area so many times. It's it's ad nauseum. I mean, you gotta respect the trading range. Right now, this 45.50, 45.60. That's been the bottom of the trading range. And the top of the trading range is 4,600. We will break out of this range someday, sometime. I don't know if the jobs number will do it or not, but boy, Blossom Learning Center. This GRR. I sure hope it's not a penny stock. It is. It's a penny stock. Sorry, I was excited. The most you can lose is 56 cents if you buy that one. But go ahead, Mitch. I saw the stock. They asked about it a lot. I
No, you're
should have
good,
pulled
my
it up
friend.
first
You're
to see if
good.
it was a penny stock. Continuing claims down 64K to 186, 1.86 million. So,
All right, let's go to
more
a
of the
good
same.
story and then a bad story. We'll go to
Okay.
Variant Systems here, trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results here. They beat on the estimate. They came in with 65 cents, beating the 57-cent estimate. Sales of 218.67 million, beat the 215.9 million estimate. VRNT, it's trying to get into that gap. I mean, now
Yeah.
I think everyone will be looking at it, just like we've been seeing multiple gaps doing this kind of rounding bottom look. This one kind of more like a V, but let's see if it can get really into that gap.
Yeah, you would have loved to be in front of your screen when this thing went through like $25. You had like 3 or 4 highs in that area. It took that out and going all the way into the 26 handle. So that old resistance, I think we'll have the new support if you do fall back here. The big number's 28. You gapped down in September. You had a 27.90 high, right? Boom, right there. Was it 27.90? No, it was 27.93. So that's a big target up the upside, and then to get into that gap area. A little ways away from now, but definitely got the momentum going. Let's see if that former resistance holds at support, and you get into 28, things get interesting. You got really open price action from 27.93 to 30.61.
C3 AI, of course. And man, I still remember when they did their AI investor presentation, they didn't really surprise me. And I think the price action is telling us that too. Let's take a look here. Adjusted EPS at a loss of 13 cents, beating the loss of 18-cent estimates. Sales of 73.23 million, missed the 74.33 million estimate. But I mean, you guys see it there, 73 million. I mean, I think it was given a lot more love just because of the ticker. We all talked about it,
Great ticker. Yeah. Yep.
and
Yep.
that can help. That it really can keep a company up higher. But the truth is, this is no competitive advantage AI over plenty others in the space.
This one it just has periods of consolidation and then it decides to make its move. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go kind of wide here. We've been in a trading range for quite some time here, and this has been the bottom of the trading range. It comes into 23.50 to 24 area. You're still $2 away from that. So the next daily low to contend with, 26. I mean, there was a small gap at 26, or no, not. There was a daily low at 26.04. You went out underneath that in the pre-market. I think the bulls absolutely have to defend 26 here. I'm looking at this move 23.50, let's call it 32. 50%. It would take you right back into this area too. So very important for this to hold, 25 and a half, 26 area, build a couple days and then turn it back around here. Down 297 on pretty good volume.
Let's get to the pet store, our online pet store. And I know Dennis should be here to make fun of pet stores that are online. But let's take a look at Chewy's adjusted EPS coming in at 15 cents, beating the 6-cent loss estimate. So pretty good beat there. But sales here missing at 2.74, missing the 2.76 billion estimate. They do see Q4 net sales at 2.78 to 2.8 billion, cutting the fiscal year 23 net sale outlook from 11.15 and 11.35 billion on the high end, now down to 11.08 and 11.1. So even on the high end, not hitting that lower estimate that they gave last quarter.
Boy, oh boy. Back at old time lows, folks. The old time low here in Chewy is 1653. In the pre-market, you got to 1683. So there's potential area of support, 16 and a half to the $17 area. Absolutely has to hold in there to start to get into yesterday's range. Any kind of rally. The bottom of yesterday's range is 1868. So that would be your resistance. So not that I'm buying it, but you're getting a reset on the buy at the lows of the move. But you know why I can't say anything bad about Chewy?
Why?
Because they sent Perry a birthday card.
Oh, yeah, they send birthday cards all the time. I love those.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Perry turned 16 years old. And they sent her a card. So
Hey,
that's why I can't
Perry
say
out
anything
there.
bad. Not that I'm buying. I mean, we get deliveries. We get deliveries from there for pet food. We get it from Amazon, and then every once in a while, I have to run around a quarter to Pet Supplies Plus or something. So we're different. Even who also has some dog treats? Like anyone really cares. Trader Joe's. You got a Trader Joe's down
man.
by you?
They got everything at Trader Joe's, man. What
Yeah.
don't they have is a better question.
Do you got one near you?
Yeah, down in Charlotte, yeah, there's quite a few. All right, let's say the chat wanted to take a look at it. I'll just do a quick mention on it. The disaster that is Wolf. We can just bring it in. WOOF, right? This has been a disaster. I thought for some reason maybe they could have a good stock. I mean, everybody sees these around everywhere, right? I mean, if you don't have a Petco within 5 miles, you probably live in the boondocks. But I mean, let's just be honest. This company is just a disappointment. I mean, it just keeps coming down. I think it disappears at some day.
It had a rally. It's down a dime here. Kind of technical here because you made the new all-time low there, and at boom 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 263, you had a nice little gap fill. When you came back up to you had a low at 363, and that's where the highs were the last few sessions. So trading technically three lows at the 340 area. It's down a dime today. I mean, you could even do a little retrade, about a $2, no, about a buck move on this 50-cent move. Maybe if this comes down into the lower threes, maybe you take a look at it. But I think I think so. We got some of their food. I'm not as familiar with this company. S&P's catching a little bit here again, just kind of moseying up, just through this area of just not much between this 45.50 and 4600. Just an open zone here for right now.
Let's get to, of course, we can't do a show and not do the today. GameStop coming
GameStop.
down. Loss of 1 cent here. Sales at 1.08 billion versus a 1.18 billion estimate. So Ryan Cohen, you got it to maybe a break even quarter, but this is not looking good, guys.
Not looking good. Traded on the lows of the pre-market session. If you're a gap filled trader here, you got a gap at 13.55. So boom, this is it. Up at near $18 the other day. Boom, not really bunching in the not really showing me a major bid here in the pre-market that this gap fill, but you definitely got someone nibbling. And why not? I mean, if you had you got caught on the short on the recent run up, so not shorting this a buck a quarter in the hole. Let's see if we could find some. That was a big candle the day that it went from 1189 to 13, closing at 1349. This 1350 area big for potential support in GameStop. I haven't looked at the other meme stocks. AMC not doing much, so.
Yeah,
Triple
man.
BY. What's the new symbol? What for triple BY? There's someone took it over. It's still really
Yeah, yeah.
BON. I don't know. I can't remember. I accidentally pulled it up.
I'm sure the chat will give it to us. I know it's triple B like something, but I forgot about it. I know it kind of went with Overstock, right?
BYON. BYON.
There it is. BYON. There it is.
Oh,
so it's
Beyond.
just beyond. It's just
Woo!
beyond.
Look at that.
We got rid of. We went on a diet. We took some of those weight loss drugs. We got rid of the rest. We're just gonna stick with Beyond.
Look at that move.
This
16.
Well, we know where it came from, right? Overstock, right? I mean, this is essentially Overstock. Overstock loves to do fast trending momentum style moves. You got to be careful because when it comes down fast, but it also comes up just as fast sometimes.
So OSTK is gone. So this is it now? BYON?
Yep. So they combined, they took the IP. They're able to use the Beyond name, right? And the key there is that they felt that Overstock was viewed as a place where you get discounted goods because they were overstocked. But that's not what Overstock is. It's just a retailer, like let's say a Wayfair or something like that.
The only thing they had to do was get rid of the 20% coupons.
That's it, man. Just don't coupon yourself to death. That's a really good example for companies to learn. I mean, they're not the only company that's ever done that, right? I would rather have lower price point and try to tighten the margins that way to get your customer to come in than have high price point and just offer these discounts that eventually just dilute your brand anyways. But hey, let's move on. Let's go to ChargePoint. You want to look at Wix there? Well, that was interesting.
No,
You brought up
I don't know
Wix.
why I brought that up. No, Charge Point, what's going on? It's
All right, Q3 EPS coming in here at a loss of 43 cents, down from a loss of 25 cents year over year. Revenues missing here the estimate 110.3 million, missing the 122.40 million estimate. Network charging systems revenue for the third quarter was at 73.9 million, down 24%. This is like their main business. Not what you want to see there. Subscription revenue was at 30.6 million, up 41%. Gross margins in the third quarter was a negative 22%, down from 18% year over year. So they just can't turn the margins into a profitable business right now. And with the charging station revenue going down, that's the exact thing you don't want to see. So this just doesn't look like a good story. Probably disappear. I know Dennis has said that he thinks these will disappear. And with that being said, I think we're just going to get stuck with Tesla charging stations around the world.
yeah, I mean, I don't have much technical comments on this one.
Yeah. But ChargePoint, definitely something to keep your eyes on. And there's a couple of these companies that might leave us, like EVgo is also in that $3 stock. Something's coming for these unless they can figure out some kind of deal that can bring back the sexiness of these stocks. They need some partnerships, and they actually need to make revenue here. Doesn't look like anything's going to change anytime soon. Stiefel initiating coverage on Rivian. Did you guys catch the Rivian move yesterday? What a rip. I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, that's a nice move. And then I look at it an hour later and I'm like, no, that's a really nice move. Man, this thing just keeps going. It doesn't want to stop. It ripped yesterday. I mean, what was the opening price? I had like 1747 and it got all the way up there to what, 1942 yesterday? That was a big move. And it's pushing right now in the pre-market.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, yesterday's setup, you know how we like to, look at the opening prices there. 1741, which you closed yesterday, slightly higher open, one tick below the close. It went one tick below, and then it caught a bid. So now it's trading up. Stifel's pretty good. It's up 84 cents. You can chase these things if you want, but I think I was just going to go a little bit longer term here. For Rivian, because I do, if this thing has turned the corner, always like to, take a look. I mean, this was a big move. I mean, this thing got up to $28 and then went down to 15. I mean, why the heck not go to the 21, 22 and a half area? I'd say for today, you haven't quite hit 20. There might be some people at 20 as after you had the initial bump down. You had 4 out of 6 highs at that $20 area. So I'll look at that as potential resistance. But if you're buying something off an upgrade and it's trading up a lot, you want to see immediate follow through, you want to see immediate bid, and then get up to that $20 area. Big all range yesterday. Well, you haven't even taken out yesterday's high yet. Yesterday's high come to where we're currently trading. Yesterday's high is at 1942, kind of close near the low of the session. So double check here. Make sure you take out that previous day high, and people just may be selling into the Stiefel up initiation of coverage.
All right, we do have some stocks that will be coming tonight on earnings. So let's just at least give a little preview here of what's coming tonight. We got AVGO. So that's definitely a high price stock. And of course, it's been really hot. But this pullback to the 50 exponential moving average seems kind of interesting with that kind of 900 right below it. You look to the left, you see some kind of closing prices that looked interesting on October 13th. Maybe those are starting to act as support here. What are you seeing on the chart, Joel?
Just the way you've had this pretty significant sell-off in November, kind of going contrary to the market or the S&P at least since November 20th. You basically went from a grand almost down to 900. So I'm just going to look see if anything around 940, 950 on a pop. I'd see 942.42 as a potential resistance area. Of course, you can figure that exact 50% retracement wherever that comes in, but just ballparking it here, people that got caught in this dip, they might say, "Hey, you get back to 950, I'll let it go." On the downside, if you lose 900 off this report or the current low, next daily low doesn't come in until 876. 16, but just we know over the years, looking at what the straddle prices are on these things could be
Mhm.
a pretty big determinant, not always, but a pretty big determinant of, where when moves expand, where they go to and if they're going to stall, where they're going to stall.
Lulu tonight also. So of course, Lululemon's been on a big rip. This has played into seasonality also, and I think at some point you got to be careful here because it's been quite a run.
Lululemon. Did someone downgrade this the other day?
If they
I
did,
thought
then
I did.
if
And
they
I
did, it
think
wasn't very smart.
yeah, taking a look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Lulu, if you traded it, look on the downside, head on a swivel at 452.40. That's a pair of lows from Monday and Tuesday. It takes that out. I think you'd see yourself in the 440 handle. Keep an eye on that. Always just for now, keep an eye on the high of the move, 467.63. Not too far away from that. Monthly high comes in at that area too, right to 467, just under 468. But if you want to target on the upside, 485.83, all time high in Lululemon. Yep. Lulu, 2 downgrades and 1 upgrade. It was last
Yep.
week. So,
It was
yep.
on the 5th and the 4th, Raymond James and Wells Fargo. So,
Okay.
so there you have it.
Let's
They
do
put
AMD. Let's do AMD here.
Yeah, let's take a little bit of we got a little time here, team. We got about like 7 minutes till we get to the end of the stream. So let's do a little ticker time, and run through some of the tickers that you guys want to see. So keep them up. What do you see in AMD, Joel?
Well, I got some new. I think there's some news on it. Why don't you share some news? I think
Yeah.
they're trying to get competitive with Nvidia. So while you're doing that, I will take a look, see if anything's standing out to me on the technicals.
Hmm.
Get rid of this line. This was obviously a breakout. Boom. Let's see. Is this a pre-market? Pre-market high so far is 121.10. So you're a buck off that. Yesterday's high is 122.83. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that level on it, but this is what I think would be key longer term for this. Well, first of all, you got a triple bottom on the bottom, so you know where your support is. You come anywhere near 116.5, that's a major level. See if we can build some highs above that. But basically, 10-point move. So getting halfway back here. This 121, 122 is halfway back of this little break we have. So it's trying. It's trying to do that. We'll see if it can hold up in today's session. Definitely getting a head start.
Yeah, of course. So AMD, of course, extending its mobile PC leadership with the Ryzen 8040. Really trying to compete in the AI era, right? And we all know that AMD was going to try to play catch up here. And I think Intel's going to be doing the same, right? And so, yes, NVIDIA has gotten such love, but at some point, some of this business is going to go to their competitors. So I would continue to watch that AMD and Intel could probably outperform NVIDIA towards the end of the year. And I think that makes complete sense, right? I mean, NVIDIA has had its day in the spotlight of course, I can see it maybe continuing, and it's not going to drop anytime soon. But also, how fast are you going to be moving up? Or could you maybe find a new opportunity to find that return like AMD or Intel? I actually like them both to perform in this time. And we got to be looking to see if they can really start to compete against like an NVIDIA.
Yeah, it's come down. It's had a rocky sessions up and down for Nvidia. We talked about this yesterday. You were actually looking for this yesterday. Might have got there in the pre-market, but didn't get there in the regular session. 450 is a nice round number. So far, the low of the move has been 450.10. So I think it's important. You build a little base here for 448 to 450 holding here. Actually, it already looks like he got three lows within a $4 range. Did get up to the 50% retracement. We were looking at that. And there also was a daily high at the 372 area, but just kind of came off with the market yesterday. But been under pressure. Let's see if all the sellers are out after that last earning, that blockbuster earnings report. S&P's back at the highs of the pre-market session, up 14 handles here, 45.70.
All right, I did want to add to that AMD. There is also a rating out there that's probably going to help it today. Raymond James maintaining a strong buy. It was a maintain, so that's why we didn't kind of mention it earlier, but they raised price target to 140. So that's kind of at least a good sign of kind of confidence, right? That's above your technical levels for the breakout, above, let's say, that 130.79. So let's see if it can get to 140. I mean, you're driving back up to maybe all-time highs there for AMD. So that doesn't look too bad. Keep your eyes on that team. Let's get back to the market. Let's take an overall look here. It's what, 858 here.
Let's do Google me.
Let's do a little bit of the Goog. Let's see what's going on here in Google
up
right
3.5%. That's a big old move in Google, dragging the other techs with us. What do you got? News me on that one.
Yeah, I don't see much now,
I
but
think it was something with the AI. I bet you I saw something. Actually, I had this up. Hold on one second.
here it is. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Looks like there's some AI talk here.
Biggest salvo against OpenAI with Gemini. I thought they were delaying that, but obviously they got something good. This is a big move for Google. This is a huge move. This is up almost $5. I can't remember last time Google has moved like this. So now where are we at? We're at 136.20. If you're a Goose trader out here, what you want to see is you get back up 136.96. That should be your initial target on the upside. That is your 5-day high. And then it backed off to close that day almost $3 lower. So that's a big level there. The next level after that is closer to 140. But this is a big move here for Google. Usually doesn't the range yesterday was 2 points. The range on the previous day was 4 points. So it's having above average range day. You're going to need a lot of volume coming here. Push it up to, as I gave you that number, just under 137, 136.96. So we can wrap it up with Google.
Yeah, it looks like we'll see if they can really compete with Chat GPT, right? I use Claude in Chat GPT. That's Anthropic. But that's what it's all about, right? Will Gemini kind of actually compete? Will it get the subscription, the user base? I'll test it out, team. I'll let you guys know what I find, right? You know, one of the things of using all three of the major ones, you can find what works, right? And what doesn't. And some are going to be better than others. An interesting move is going to be that TikTok's parent, ByteDance, is actually gearing up to launch their AI. So get ready, guys, because soon there's going to be 20 different large language models that you could be using, and you still got Bard, right? I mean, it just goes to show you guys, at some point the competition is going to be a lot in this space, and they're going to have to split the pie. So I don't see this as such a positive as some may see it, but like always, we'll keep taking a look. Last comments here. What would you see driving the bus today?
Man.
I'm going to look to see if tech can get another rally.
Yeah, it is rallying here. It is. The good. I mean, I'm looking at the big boys. Microsoft was traded down a little bit. I didn't see any news on that, but
Amazon,
man, your big boys: Apple, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, all trading smartly in the green here. We know what's drive the stocks. We are once again in this vacuum zone here. We were down at the bottom of the range yesterday. They scooped it up at the 45.50 area. Now you're coming to the top of the range and got nothing for one stars in here for you. I just have to say, if I had to give like a middle area, this 45.76 area is attracted a lot of closes. So if you want a short-term target above the pre-market high, yesterday's high is closer to 4,600, and we know that's the big barrier to get up, to get above that, to confirm another leg higher in the S&Ps.
Joel, who will we have on tomorrow's show?
JETS, Jets, no one other than Frank Holmes. Love to get his take. He'll be in heaven. His Jets ETF is moving nicely. Bitcoin's moving nicely.
Gold bug.
He's also a gold bug. So we'll be with Frank Holmes tomorrow. Mitch, another great show there, producing it from the office. And I'll be seeing you later on, buddy.
Hey, man, I'll see you there, man. See you in a little bit later. I get to actually see Joel, guys. Don't be looking for me. All right, Joel, have a great one. And, guys, I'll bring you guys over to live trading. That's starting up next. Like always, we got a great day here at Benzinga. Going to keep going and doing shows for you guys. And let me know what you guys want to see, what you guys want to see more of. Do you guys like the dressed up appearance? Do you guys want to see more of this? Let us know, guys. We're always here to try to give some feedback and listen to you guys because you guys run the show also. Of course, all the information today is for informational purposes only, not to be used as investment advice, and opinions do not represent those of Benzinga. Hosts and guests may maintain positions in the securities discussed today. Like always, stay safe out there, traders. Time to get after it. Time to go to my live trading stream. So you guys out there, don't go anywhere. Stay right here. Come check out live trading. If it's your first day, hey, let me know in the live trading stream. I'll make sure to give you a nice shout out. Let's get to the action. Time to get to the trading.